Everyone, welcome to Rolling with the Times Live by Rolloway Productions LLC. Rolloway Productions LLC is a company of professional skaters who perform, teach, and produce media content so we may change the world through roller skating. Rolloway Productions is not allied with any sect, denomination, or politics. It does not wish to engage in any controversy. Our primary purpose is to change the world through roller skating. So with that said, let's go. Let's roll.
Let's roll. Let's roll.
Okay, you're going to kick off our topic, Kenny? Introduce ourselves, maybe?
Oh, yes. My name is Kenneth. My real name is Kenneth, and last name Davis. Everyone calls me Rollo. And this is my business manager and marketing strategist, Miss Monica Charrisse. And we are here tonight to talk about everyone's favorite topic, loyalty. what does loyalty mean? So that's what we want to discuss tonight. We wanted to just open that up to the community, and it's such a broad topic. So we're going to condense it just a little bit. So let's condense it to loyalty as it relates to relationships, because of course it can be, it can be work, it could be family, it could be. Let's just talk about friend to friend. How about that? Friend to friend loyalty. Let's see if we can keep it in that box. And I think first of all, we should define the word loyalty. What does it actually mean? Do we have a definition for that?
I'm pulling that up right now, which I'm supposed to have.
Find the definition.
Mm-hmm.
And go from there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. All right. So just looking at the meaning of loyalty. So the first definition doesn't help any. The quality of being loyal. Well, what is loyal? So next would be a strong feeling of support or allegiance. That's another definition that I see right there. And let's see. We're going to pull it up on another online dictionary and see if I get any more goodness there for our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, really, that's it. And then we go into the synonyms. So allegiance seems to be like a big part of the definition, as well as the strongest synonyms that are there. Other synonyms with it: commitment, constancy, dedication, devotedness, devotion, faith, faithfulness, vastness, fealty, fidelity, steadfastness. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So strong feeling of support or allegiance.
Okay. Strong feeling. So what does that mean? What does loyalty mean to what does loyalty mean to you?
Well, how about okay, I have a question, because when you suggested this topic, I thought, okay, wow, that's big. But then also, like, why? What brings it on? What brings it forth? Is it like the time of year, we're going into the holidays, we're going to be with family and coming together and be together, and, our loyalty to each other coming forth? Is it other things? Like, what brings it forth?
What brings it forth? I would have to say, for me, what brought it forth is sometimes I get sidetracked with people a lot. I feel with myself that sometimes I might be maybe too loyal to someone, and I have the same expectation from that person coming back, and a lot of times I get let down. And maybe it was just me over my expectations being way up here. And, and when they fall under that expectation, then I feel let down. So I keep experiencing this, and it could be just me, or it could be just people just aren't loyal these days. So I guess part of me was just curious about really my own expectations. Are they too high? Are they, so I just wanted to get a consensus of what loyalty means. What's it mean to you? What's it mean to anyone? And when is it out of whack? When is it out of play? So there's the three friends that I always like to talk about. You got your comrade, you got your constituent, and you got your confidant. So a comrade is just someone that fights the same war you fight. They might support the same cause you fight. You fight for the same cause. You stand for, you agree on something. That's a comrade. A constituent is someone who sometimes it's a give and take type relationship. Like, I get something from you, you get something from me. So we're both receiving, we're both sort of feeding each other. And then that last one is the confidant. Confidant is someone that's there for you thick and thin, no matter what, even loyal to you, maybe in times when they really know you're wrong and they're still loyal to you, whatever. But that's a confidant, someone that's there thick and thin. So with me, I think a lot of times I will confuse that. I'll take a person and say, hey, you're my confidant. You know what I'm saying? And really that person's only a comrade. He just might be a skater, just like me. You know what I mean? But he's not a confidant. He's just someone that supports the same cause. Or it could be that constituent that, you get something from me, I get something from you. Sometimes I'll get that confused with someone that, I get the three labels confused, but I've learned how to label a lot better now that I'm aware of it, so.
So for the three that you were talking about, comrade, constituent, and confidant, is that something that you learned in a particular place, particular teaching from a mentor? Like, where did you get that breakdown?
I actually got that breakdown from T.D. Jakes. I heard him preach on that before. He preached about the three types of people. And so I actually got it from there. And when it was like it was a revolution for me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, okay, so yeah, a lot of times I will take people and put them in the wrong place and then end up feeling let down. So they weren't loyal to me because they were never the person that I assumed them to be. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they only maybe believed in the same cause that I believed in, but that doesn't make them, that doesn't make them a confidant. That doesn't make them, So I'm still learning as I go along, though, between the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you suggested the topic and I was thinking about it myself, I'm like, wow, it is a learning curve. It is a learning curve. Even at this age and stage, we are you know, well, both of us over half a century, both of us,
Yeah.
and still learning and growing in that matter. And you mentioned some things, expectations,
Mm,
um, expectation, disappointment, and then, how you put someone in a category. And I guess, like, what are the qualifications for a person to even be in a confidant category, for example, or to be put, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's the closest one, for example.
mhm.
So, is it that, um, yeah, it's like, what are the qualifications for a person to even be that? And are your qualifications, do they need to be adjusted? You know? Um, I think very much like that this is it's not the same thing, but it's related in a way of like how to categorize people. I think of my eldest when she was young, and she had difficulty making friends. And when someone even so much as seemed friendly, okay, oh,
Mhm.
that's my friend.
Right.
And she had to learn over time that a person being friendly does not make that person her friend.
Correct.
And that was a painful lesson to learn. And I'm wondering if it's like the same type of thing here, where a person can have, the actions, the bearing, the whatever of someone who is a confidant, right? But actually hasn't met whatever to be really put in that into that category, if you will. And is it more like wishful thinking on your part,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Hmm. Hmm. I think, sometimes, well, let me just talk about me. I think the way I grew up, like my childhood, I think that might have a lot to do with it. Um, my childhood, I left DC when I was really young. I was sixth grade. I left here, and I moved from here to Boston. So I went from an all white, all black environment to an all white environment. I felt alienated. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt I was alone. I felt like I didn't have any friends. So the first person that gave me any idea that they were my friend, per se, I would take that as far as to say, oh, that's my confidant. I found someone um, that I can share my secrets with, so I can, that type of thing. And sometimes that type of behavior can follow you into adulthood, because it's just, you know, you're just in an environment that you feel that there's no one there that you can really talk to. And I think everyone needs someone, you know. And so that's sort of how I grew up. And then it was sort of rough in Boston to really find, you might say, friends, people that I can really I can really connect to, because so you had your, of course, white community that was usually an out. Oh, that's not gonna work. But the black folk that were there um looked at me like, hey, you talk funny. I mean, you don't sound like us. You know what I mean? You're different. You're not one of us. So I felt that way all through that's why I say it can follow you all the way into your adult years if you let it. If you think that that's the norm, this is the norm. This is how people are. This is how people behave. Um, and it followed me all through high school, and then after high school and even still today. Now, when I moved back here, I felt the same way because now I'm sounding like I'm from Boston. And even though I skated and, all of that, I just felt like I never really truly fit in because I didn't go to Baloo. I didn't go to Dunbar. I didn't share those childhood memories with a lot of the skaters or a lot of community in the DMV. So again, I feel alienated. So I don't want to make the conversation about me, but I just wanted to use a live example of how one can take loyalty and take it too far. Like when they attach onto something, that just might be just a confidant, like you were saying, just someone that's just a constituent or comrade. But because it's so hard to find people like that, your mind might say, "Oh, this is my confidant," but it's just
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
Like I was thinking of like a life raft. Like you're out there at sea, and you're just like, oh, just trying to make it. And then you see this life raft. Oh, you know, you hold
Exactly,
on for dear life, right? And
exactly.
that's what it sounds like to me. Um, when you were saying about moving to Boston, right? We're moving to Boston, and people were like, "Oh, you sound funny, right?" And you're alienated because of that. I was thinking about when I was young. My mom and I were separated for a time, and so I, at one point, went down to live with my family in Savannah, Georgia. And so this is, her aunt and her children. So these are relatives and everything. And you would think that my cousins, they would have my back because we're family, right? We like this. And plus, I was the youngest one. I was the one who was to be protected, right? However, I sounded Yankee, okay? And then on top of that, it just so happened, just for how it happened, on at least our half of the block, because the blocks were really long, but I was the lightest one. So here it was, I was the lightest one who sounded Yankee, and therefore I just caught it. I caught it from all sides. And my
Mm,
cousins, my cousins didn't protect me or back me up. Hey, they were standing there watching, you know, me being circled and taunted and all this kind of stuff. So I learned that very quickly, very early, that those who you would expect to be loyal, okay, to have your back, to have some sort of allegiance, you can't count on that.
right.
And there's so I had like that's like a recurring. And trust me, it's a message that's just never gone away. I've seen different waves and cycles of that through my life. So it's really interesting. Um, for me, I do what I do because of who I am, period. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I make it more a particular principle that I'm standing on, and whoever's building with me is building with me. You see what I'm saying? And that can be held firm to. The
Yeah.
other stuff, it's sad to say, it's commonplace. And a lot of the stuff that you see going on, oh, well, more of the same. It doesn't make it any easier at all, especially when you think, okay, look, these grown folk, we've been around for a while, we don't have time to mess around with this, right? We have things to do before it's time for us to go, and we don't even know when that is. So let us at least, come together and act like we have home training, all of us, and we know how to deal with each other correctly. And that's not what happens. So, you know, so it's one of those things. I wonder sometimes if I had that. I mean, does anyone have this? That actual nurturing environment from from the get-go that was consistently nurturing, where loyalty and actual strong relationships, you know, were properly displayed, modeled in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what difference would that make in my view of the world? And yeah, so
Was it nurturing or was it people pleasing?
no, I'm talking about if I had an environment of actual nurturance. That's what I'm talking about. Like
Oh,
the
so the environment. Oh, okay, I got you. Got you. Got you.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I
because
really asked that because that's what I used to do. Um, I used to. I hear what you're saying, but I used to people please. Um, and I call that, it's a form of nurturing. It can be a form of nurturing, but uh, almost like buying your friends, like buying loyalty. You know what I mean? In my younger days, I don't do that now, but I'm just saying, you know, when we're younger, we do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Um, because when you get lonely, you just, you almost buy them in a way, in your own way. You buy that person, not necessarily go out and buy them something or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. You people please. But I've learned to, as an adult, I've learned to, if they're not, I learned that your circle, having a small circle is really a good thing. You don't need a lot of drama as we get older. We don't need all that drama, in our life. And small circles are good, you know.
mm-hmm,
But then you have people that I like to say can deceive you into believing that they're loyal to you. But then when the stuff hits the fan, you're left shocked, like, my God, how did, wow, reality hits in and you're like, this person is not who I think they were.
mm-hmm,
And it's shocking.
mm-hmm,
I get shocked by that, even still today.
mm-hmm,
Because I like to believe I love hard. I love hard. And when someone doesn't return that equally, it takes me a while to process what just happened.
mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm,
and that goes down to expectations and my expectations
mm-hmm,
and my acceptance. So,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
but yeah, um, I just try my best to be my best. That's all, you know.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think when you have those conflicts, the willingness to actually talk directly to the person is important, um, so that you can actually see, or at least try to see from the other point of view, even if it boggles the mind.
That's true.
That becomes important, because if there are, when it's not just a one-on-one, but say there's someone in the middle, or there are other parties in the middle, and you're dealing with people translating what you say, or other influences in the conversation, and you can't distinguish what is real, what is not, what you can't even see what is accurate or not, then
That's true.
you're at the mercy of interference.
That's
um mhm,
you're absolutely true. Because I caught myself a couple of times misinterpreting another person's actions, and in my head, it's like the response didn't happen when I wanted to happen. So in my head, I'm somewhere in my head about this person, and uh, but like you said, that communication is so important uh, to find out what's going on, because it's not all
mhm,
you think, especially if you have a tendency to think the worst. you know, um, out of most scenarios, you're going to think the worst before you think the best. So, but
mhm,
yeah, communication is very important.
mhm. Absolutely.
What I want to
Absolutely.
do, what I want to do real quick is it is halftime right now, and I want to stop just for a second and just to give our handle, which is, you want to do that, Monica, because you're better than me.
Sure. Uh, mm, You look, you're a natural marketer. You know how to do this. And yes, I will, because we share in that. So you can find Rolloway Productions on the web. So when it comes to social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, you can find us at Rolloway Productions LLC. That's ROLLOWAY Productions LLC. So it's the same handle whether you're on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. You will find us that way. Otherwise, our website is rollowayproductions.com. Again, spelled the same way, ROLLOWAY productions.com. And let's see, is there anything else we wanted to make sure?
Do the second half of that. I'll do the second half because you did that so well. So, and this is rolling with the times. This
Live.
is live, rolling with the times live. It's important to say live after that. This is something that we started, Monica and myself. This is actually our second episode of this. And we're hoping to get more community involvement, to get you guys all involved, to come out, talk about what it is that you feel that needs to be addressed. Things that happen in the community, things that's happening within family, or just maybe even within relationships. So you just tell us, you can put in the comments what you think that should be, and we'll see if we can bring that topic out. We are we are going to move our date until we're going to move it to Tuesday nights soon. There will be a notice of that. Monica's going to handle that, I guess, by just watching our yes, our page, our Instagram would be
Yeah,
Instagram.
on all the social media. And also if you're on our newsletter list, of course, you'll see it there. And the way to join that very easily is that you can do that on your cell phone even. You could you can text the name Rollo, ROLLO, to the following number, 22828. Again, to the number 22828. You text Rollo, ROLLO, and then you'll get a prompt for your email, and that will put you directly on our list. I send out the newsletter every Wednesday that gives you our updated schedule since we are in multiple locations,
Yeah.
and community news and so on, everything that we have going on. So that is definitely the way to keep up with us and to know what we're doing. And then of course, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Yes, and we will be moving to Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. This will probably be our last Thursday night episode. We'll go right to the Tuesday night. And yeah, just come on in, join us, follow us. And yeah, we want to change the world through roller skating, and we will. And we are making a difference now as we speak. And we also have a nonprofit, AIM, which stands for Art in Motion. But we're not going to get into that right now. Are we, Monica? No.
No, but actually where you ended is where I wanted to start. You know, at Rolloway Productions, we're changing the world through roller skating. And that's why we talk about social issues. We do more than support your skate journey, but here we are as a community and as families and in relationships with each other on this life journey. So let's talk about the things that matter. So for October, one of the things that October is known for is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So what we did for our first episode was to invite family, Cassandra Archer Morgan, who is not only a minister, but then also a domestic violence survivor and speaker. And she came on and shared her experience, and through sharing her experience, gave education, gave such wonderful,
Yeah, I love
advice word to those who are caught in that situation, and also resources available in the area. So we're looking forward to doing more of that,
it.
issues-based, and then also more other conversations like we're doing today, but we're open to your feedback.
Mhm. And again, today's topic is loyalty. So we're talking about loyalty, what that means to you, and when is it just out of control? When is it just too much? When are you too loyal to a certain cause? When do you back out? When do you get out? Do you get out? Um,
Mhm,
why are you loyal? You know,
mhm.
um, we're
Yeah,
talking.
mhm. Yeah, I
Uh,
wanted to jump. So the question, what exactly are you loyal to? That's very important. And because people will mistake being loyal with the person as being the same as being loyal to the principle, or loyal to the mission, or loyal to the purpose that this particular person is on. Do you understand? The two things are different. And people will sometimes be like, "Oh, you're so loyal to him." Well, yeah, we're doing this thing, but please understand, this is my trajectory. So and that's how I've always rolled. So I think that's an important thing, to differentiate what one is being loyal to, you know.
mhm.
And also loyalty. Now this is a different thread. We might want to take it, we might not. I don't know. Loyalty is definitely not the same thing as faithfulness. There is a difference. So loyalty is kind of like, so say you have a tie or a bond. Now that doesn't mean that you won't go over here and do this, or you won't go do that, or you won't go do this. But push come to shove, okay, when it's time to really declare where you're at, you know where you are. That is a loyalty. But if you assume it to be the same as faithfulness, where there is no going here and there, there is none of this or that, then there's going to be conflict. And I think what happens is that in a lot of relationships, and I mean like friendships, romantic relationships, marriages, whatever, relationships, that there isn't a very clear definition or agreement of what that is. Is loyalty, is it the same as faithfulness? And there's assumption. And also people may change over time, where the link between the two, it might be like this at the beginning, but over time it might not be, you know? And so we have to really address that and be willing to have that kind of conversation.
This is true. And while you're thinking about loyalty, don't forget to be loyal to yourself. You have to
Mhm,
be loyal to yourself in certain things too.
mhm,
A lot of times people can do so much for other people where they don't do anything for themselves. You
mhm.
got to pay yourself. You got to reward yourself. You want to comment on that, Monica?
Yeah, I mean, one of the ways I've done that, just as a woman who became a mother of multiple children, um, many of whom had special needs, special things happening. And then for many years, almost 20 years, we were an active duty family, active duty Marine Corps family. Um, my loyalty to me and who I am, and my individuality and my creativity and what I have to offer to the world, husband or not, children or not, whatever, that was expressed through business.
Mhm.
And so that's where my loyalty, or one of the ways in which I keep a loyalty to myself. And and the way I'm made, though, the way I engage with people, it has been as a catalyst in other people's things. And I would say with Rolloway, this is the first organization where I literally stepped in to take a particular role and to kind of put some roots in and all this kind of stuff. But trust and believe, those other designs for myself or what I'm doing haven't gone anywhere, and they're not going to, because that is as like core and essential to me as I breathe. And so each person needs to know what is their non-negotiable, you know, what must they keep for self, period, point
Right.
blank, full stop. Because without that, that which is really living, like life, real life, that vibrancy, that spirit, without it, it goes, you know?
Yeah, that's true, because you can definitely lose yourself by being so much into another person, or
Mhm.
being loyal to a person where you just forget about you, and it's got to be a balance in that. And I don't think anyone can truly be happy um, giving so much of you that you forget about you. So
Yeah.
I think,
Mhm.
yeah, I think
Yeah, I was going to say, I think part of it, something to consider is, well, when I hear that, I hear codependency. And
yeah,
codependency is really serving self through controlling another,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
through trying to control another. So it's, you see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's like when you are into another person, taking care of another person or whatever, whatever, well, what is that really about? You know, is that really just truly you know, like this high level, like agape, type love that you have for this person? You want to see them fly and this, that, and all of that? Or are there actual expectations? You're doing it because you want something back, and so on and so forth. So we have to be clear about what the actual attachments are. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an insecurity, you know. Codependency. And that's something that's a whole different topic right there. That's something that
Hmm.
just separately within itself. And that's the uh, self-esteem issue. So yeah, we can go a lot of different directions with this
Hmm.
poetry piece. You tap into so many different things, but yeah, and then how do you heal from hurt when you feel that someone betrayed you that you've been loyal to? How do you respond to that? How do you heal? Do you forgive that person and move on? Do you, with me, what I try to do, I just say, well, you know what? If God removed that person from me, then they weren't supposed to be there. I have to put in a disclaimer for myself so I don't focus too much on that particular person or that particular situation. I got to do that for me, you know? Yeah.
I I hear that, and then even within just the example you were just giving, if God removed that person from me, then you gotta. So here's the thing about the removal, though. Is the removal that the person did XYZ, and you decide, you have your imaginations, you have your view, you have or whatever, and you just kind of walk on the other way? Is that what removal is? Because what that is actually you removing self. And that is okay, but you have to be upfront about that. It's different than a person doing XYZ, which was, offensive or whatever, and you actually having that I want to say confrontation, but conversation, and like literally, like for real, what was that? What was that? Where was that from? This and that and the other. And from there, making that determination, look, you know, whatever. Whether it's you on your own saying, I can't deal with you, or it's both people saying, I can't deal with you. That is different. So when you say, if God removes that person, I mean, because like when I hear that, the very first thing I think of is death. That's God removing the person
Mhm.
for reals. Otherwise, it is in fact a choice. And so, so that's something to be upfront about.
That's true. It goes back to what you said earlier, communication.
Hmm.
How to communicate, but I've had people come and go out of my life that I one time felt was really close. And sometimes God will remove that person where they will really remove themselves. Uh,
Hmm.
doing something to really, I like to say, take off their mask. They actually
Mhm.
take off the mask for you to see who they really are.
Mhm.
These type of people. But I try my best to be myself, be my best. I'm not perfect, but I try not to offend anyone. I try to basically, be who I am. What you see is what you get. You know. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, you have those people out there though that I don't know if it's they're insecure within themselves. I had someone really, really hurt me one time, and this was someone that I had befriended, and he also, I felt he befriended me as well. He used to always share things that was going on with his marriage with me, and I do the same. I try to give him direction, uh, or whatever. But I wouldn't say I thought we were best friends or anything like that, but I just thought that we were closer than what you know what we were. I felt close to him from my side. I would I would never do anything to betray our friendship. And he one day went around telling my friends that I was stealing from this organization that I was working for, which was total fiction, total just out of nowhere. Just I'm like, where did that come from? And I just could not believe it. And I shared with him that what, someone is spreading this rumor around that I'm stealing, and he was like, yeah, wow, that's amazing, that's too bad, or whatever. Come to find out, I spoke to someone else that also had my back. He said the person that shared that was him. You're talking to that was, and I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, he's the one that spread it. And then it all made sense to me because I thought about the way he was acting and da 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 da. Oh yeah, that really hurt me because I was like, wow, I had this guy's back. No matter what, if he needed to shirt off my back, I would have gave it to him. And that was some deep hurt. But what I had to do was I had to pray for him, even though I didn't feel like it. It was suggested to me with the AA program that I'm in to pray for him. I've been in AA for 21 years. For those that don't know, I have 21 years of sobriety. But it was suggested to pray for that person for 2 weeks, even if you don't feel like it. Pray for him. Pray that he gets everything in life that you want for yourself. And I was like, whoa. And I tell you what, I did not act on that right away. I was so hurt. I did not act on it. But finally, after maybe about 6 months, because I felt justified in my anger. I felt I'm not praying for him. No, I'm not. I just felt justified. You ever felt justified?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I felt justified, and then I also heard a saying that says forgiveness is not the key that unlocks you, but the key that unlocks me. So in order for me to unlock myself, I had to forgive him. So I started praying for him, and I can say that he and I speak these days. And when I see him, my insides don't get crazy like they used to. I can actually have a regular conversation with him now, but I know who he is now.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it took that time. It took time to heal, but yeah, that was one of the biggest betrayals that I've ever had happen.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah. 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 I can hear that. I can definitely relate. Um. And yes. Yes. Sometimes it's just really surprising what,
Mm.
what people will do, you
Yeah.
know. And like going back to that first, what we were first talking about,
Mm.
when it's like, say it's like you're out in the ocean and then you see this life raft and you grab onto the person and, oh, this is my confidant, oh, this is my friend, because there seems to be some affinity, and when it turns out to be the wrong person, um then it's yeah, it can be very uh well, depending on how much you relied on relationship, really destabilizing. It can
Mm.
be destabilizing, not just disappointing, destabilizing. And
Yes.
I've definitely gone through a season of that, as you know. And so it's like, okay,
Mm.
when you heal through it, though, it's like you come out on the other side of it better, you know. And that's what I would definitely, say.
I would say sometimes you come out of it better
You
because,
can.
well, yeah, you can come out of it better. It depends on how you process it because you can take that and not trust anybody after that.
Mhm,
You can
mhm.
take that and say, you know what, I'm not giving my heart away anymore. That's it. That's all, So it depends on how you process it. Whether you, yeah, you could really be unconsciously uh trying to hurt some, 'cause you know what they say about hurt people.
Mhm,
Unconsciously you can be actually trying to hurt someone else, so that's
mhm.
something to really look into. If you've been hurt, just look at your actions and how you treat people, and are you letting people in, are you a prisoner of your past, because sometimes we are. you know it's 3 minutes of 8 right now, 3 minutes of 9, and we can go all day with this topic. I think we just opened the door on it, and there's so much, yeah, so much more.
Pandora's box. It's Pandora's box. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many. If you had a mind map, right, and you had loyalty in the middle of a circle, and then you have these lines with all these little circles and related topics, it would be a huge,
Yeah,
mind map. Really, that's the way that I see it.
yeah, infinity. But I
Mhm.
just like to thank everyone for listening in, for joining us, for even thinking about us today, and decide to come and hang out with us. And yeah, we're looking to see you in 2 weeks on our
On
next,
Tuesday, on the Tuesday of that week, 8
on
p.m. instead of Thursday.
correct, in 2 weeks on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. And just continue to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. And again, please send us your email address if you'd like to receive the newsletter. And Monica will give you that information because she's so good at it.
All right. So if you want to get on their newsletter, there are a couple of ways. So if you want to do so by text on your phone, you can text the name Rollo, Rolllo, to the following number, 22828. Once again, to the number 22828, text Rollo, Rollo. And then you get a prompt for your email, and that puts you directly on the list. So that's one way. Another way is you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook, and the handle is Rolloway Productions LLC. Rolloway Productions LLC, and drop us a message. Okay, that's another way to request. Or if you prefer email, you can email us at info@rollowayproductions.com. Right. So there are many ways to get on the list. We'll take care of you, whichever way you choose. And we look forward to you joining our community and yeah, and being with us.
Yes, and that newsletter does several things. You'll be up to date with all our classes, our shows that we do. We do a lot of shows. but you'll be informed where to come and see us perform, or maybe even come out and perform with us if you're a skater. Sometimes you will have that opportunity, but we thank you. We'd like to thank everyone that tuned in. It's 9 o'clock and our time is up. So we just want to say once again, thank you. And we will see you in 2 Tuesdays, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday.
That's right. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.